Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back to another Logging from Scratch episode. Last time we were playing, we were, again, continuing on the railroad project. We have 2 trees left, and gosh darn it, I'm going to try to get both those trees if I can on this episode. Whether we haul it all back or not, I want to get them on the ground so at least we can maybe do one quick loading episode and get that cleaned up, because these trees are taking a while, a lot longer than I thought to get down. Again, they are very complicated trees. They're not like, you know, our regular simple knock them down, call it a day type of trees. So we are going to try to get that all cleaned up. Now, I've never actually, believe it or not, since playing this game, I have never, ever cut down a palm tree yet. These guys. I haven't cut one of these down. Not a single one. You guys, in this... well, potentially this episode. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go straight for that tree right off the bat. This will be the first palm tree I've ever cut down in this game. Palm tree, whatever you want to call it. Some people say palm, like P-O-M, and then some people say palm, like a palm tree. Now, it's spelled P-A-L-M, so I've always said palm tree, which I still think is accurate. But I hear people still call them palm trees. Palm tree. I say that too many times, it's going to get weird. Oh, geez, there's a tree piece on the track. I gotta get that out of there before we get fined for that. Where's the train? It's probably, hopefully, not close. Can I pick that up? Oh, no. So we're gonna have to get our excavator. Oh, this is gonna be a scary moment. I almost want to wait for the train to pass. You know what? Let's be ballsy. Let's see if we can get it before the train gets here. And then if we gotta hightail it off, we'll be fine. I'm just watching out my side window to see if the train's coming. Because if we get hit by a train, it's going to be devastating. So let's walk in reverse while watching forward. So if I do see a train coming, I can get off the track. But we have to clear this track or else we're going to get in trouble. Actually, it'd probably be a good picture before the train hits us. Train picture. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so let's move this one over here. Now, I don't really want to be on the track because I have a feeling this thing is not going to be able to fall off of it. But I'm going to be watching the track ahead, and if I see a train coming, boy, we're going to have to hightail it out of here. This is the only piece I got to clear, so if we can get this out of here, then we'll be good. I think we're golden. Whew. I'm not going to lie, that was a little bit of anxiety-inducing there, because I'm like, oh, man, it's going to be the one moment I'm not looking, then that thing's going to come. But I think we're safe now. I'm not too worried. The other question is, did I park our truck in a place where it won't get hit by the train? I think we're far enough off. Okay, now I'm going to... Oh, here comes the train. Let's take a break here. Smile. Let me get a picture. Right on. Well, we cleared it in time for the thingy to get done there. Oh, has this one got another branch sticking into the ground? Probably. I can tell because I'm like moving the head around and it feels like it's dragging a piece even though there's nothing to be seen. That's how I know there's ghost physics happening. But I might have just been hitting it on something too. Let's get these little branches cleaned up here, and then I want to go cut down the palm tree. Dos Palmo Trio. All right. And topic of the day, I had a couple interesting entries given to me for topic of the day for the past. And what I do is I look at the episode's comments from before, and I just look for suggestions. So again, if you guys have suggestions for topic of the day, drop them in the subject. Drop them in the comments, and I'll take a look at them. Now, like I said, the last the last video, I got some interesting ideas for comments of the or topic of the day. The one that one person really wanted was slavery as topic of the day. I mean, I'm not going to go into too much depth on that. I think slavery is wrong in every single form that it comes in. So I don't really need a topic of the day about that one because it's bad, and that's all there is to it. That's my opinion, and I don't want to discuss that anymore than I have to. So I'm just going to go, slavery's bad. Thanks for the idea. So the next suggestion was people want to know about, and I thought I covered this already, but so I'm going to combine it into two. So we have student loans and credit cards. Those are two things that were asked to be reviewed. So after we cut this, there we go, guys. First palm tree ever. First palm tree ever cut. Look at that. Love it. So now let's drag this guy back. These are a weird looking tree. Do they even, like, I don't even know. Do they log palm trees in real life? Is the wood actually any good? I thought they were just like total rotten pieces of crap. I didn't think you could even log them. But maybe I'm wrong. So anyway, moving on. That would be a whole nother subject. Let's talk about student loans and credit cards. Now, the person who asked the question said, is it worth getting a student loan? Is it worth having a credit card as opposed to paying with cash? That was kind of the questioning subject. So as soon as I get over this track and I'm more focused on what I'm doing, I can pay attention to the subject. And we can talk about it. So I'm just going to swing this guy, try not to hit my pile, and we'll buck this guy into a bunch of little pieces here. So, okay, I have had both student loan and credit cards, as I'm sure a lot of people have had. I can say, sorry, I just have to see. See, there is an invisible piece. You little bugger. I hate these things. Can I pick that up? No. See, now we got to use this thing to go pick up the invisible piece. What you're seeing right now is just the physics of the game underneath everything. Unfortunately, I have to pick up this tree piece, even though it's not really there. I think we're going to have to put a kibosh on these kind of trees for falling. Or just not do the limbs. We can just do the other pieces. So we're just going to put that over there for now. There goes the train again. So let's start with student loans. I have lots of opinions about student loans. So I have had, I had one student loan. It was for $23,000, so that I could go to audio engineering school, so I could be an audio engineer. And an audio engineer is basically somebody who mixes, masters music, does live sound, works with audio equipment, that kind of work, so that you're well versed in audio. That was my big career goal, is what I wanted to be when I was coming out of school. I said, I want to go work in audio engineering, because I didn't really know what I wanted, and it sounded cool, and I had been mixing and mastering my own music, my own band, my own stuff for a long time. So I said, hey, let's go be an audio engineer. That could be fun. So I got the loan. I went to school. I completed the school, but unfortunately, I'm not sure if it was just timing or what, but it did not end up being a very employable job. There wasn't a lot of work for it, although it was a very cool job to have. Most of the places I wanted to work at would only hire you as I guess you'd call it like a temp or like an assistant without pay. So they wouldn't even pay you minimal wage, unfortunately. God, I gotta get over this track again here. There we go. So they wouldn't even pay you minimal wage. They wanted you to work for free, and then eventually, that was their line, eventually, if you did well, they would hire you on as a part-time engineering assistant, and then you could potentially, become an engineer one day and work in a studio. So I did try being a temp for a while, but unfortunately, with student loans, with bills, with life, and trying to stay alive and eat food and stuff and pay rent, you can't do that on a job that doesn't pay you anything. So I did it for 2 months while working another security job, trying to maintain my finances. And I found that the security job started actually paying real money, a lot of it. And they asked me if I would like to take on more full-time hours, take on a supervisory kind of role, working with other people, because I was really good at what I did, and I was very professional doing security. So I told the studio, I said, hey, listen, I've had another offer. What's it looking like in terms of me getting full-time work here? Because I would really like to be working in your studio. And the guy said, well, the economy's kind of tough right now. It's hard to say where things are going to go. Especially it was right after the Olympics had happened in Vancouver. So a lot of the really high-up engineers and stuff, even they were looking for work because a lot of the work that they had was shut down after the Olympics ended. So it wasn't exactly a market where the jobs were just flying off the shelf. There was a low amount. So anyway, he told me, he was honest with me, which I did appreciate. He said, you're doing great work here. We love that you help out and stuff. But he's like, I couldn't see a full-time job coming anytime within the next year or more. And that was kind of the big decider for me. I had to make the decision. Got to either go into a job that's going to make me money and kind of a career so I can stay alive, or I can sit on this job for another year plus working side jobs, hoping eventually something opened up. Also, there was another temporary guy who was there ahead of me who had been doing it for 6 months. So in my head, I was like, even if a job does open up, he's probably going to get first dibs on it over me because he's been here longer. So I made the decision to stop doing that and go hardcore into security, and I turned that into a little bit of a career while I lived down there before I came back up here working at the mill. But so very long story short, I had a $23,000 loan, which did not at all relate to the position I was in. I'm actually just going to take, or maybe we won't do a mill load off that one. We'll just cross the tracks and go clean up that other side. So we might let this episode actually run a little bit late because I do want to kill this last tree and get it all dealt with. I don't see a train coming, so we should be able to clear the track. So yeah, long story short, it's really hard for me to make an arguable case for getting a student loan for my particular experience. I look back and I go, getting that loan got me out of the small town that I was in, because without that loan, there's no way I would have even attempted to leave this town to go take on that job in the big city. So I have to look at it in a perspective of, yes, I owe student loans, owed. I don't owe them. I think I only owe them like $3,000 now, but at the time I owed them $23,000. If I could go back in time, would I do that again? I don't know. So a lot of conflict there for that one, but I think it was good, like I said, because it got me out of the town I was in. But I also think I probably could have just not taken the loan and just experimented a little. The stuff I learned in school was fun. It was neat. It was a neat experience, but it wasn't anything at all that I couldn't have learned on my own. I 100% believe that. I can't replace that experience that I had while I was in school. Learning the new techniques, meeting the interesting people I met. The connections you get from school is really what creates future for a lot of employment positions. Oops! Oh God! Don't fall on the track. Oh, there we go. Oh man, we're gonna have to hold this thing in place. I can tell already. There we go. Is that gonna interrupt the train at all? No. Is that gonna interrupt the highway at all? Nope. And that's a lucky spot. We'll just hold that in place. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the best way to go is. If you have a field of education that you need to get into, that you are so passionate about, and you need this education, this certificate, this diploma, this whatever it is to get to your dream job, I mean, maybe a student loan is the best option for you. If it's a job that doesn't necessarily need the schooling, but you need experience, go get a job related to that experience and try it and learn from people who are experienced in that field before you go take on this giant student loan. I can't count the amount of friends I have right now that took on much, much larger debts than me. $23,000 is a lot of money. I'm not thinking that's a small amount, but some of my friends are in the $50,000 to $80,000 loans for their schooling. And again, they are not doing the job that they thought they would be doing. They're not even related to it. They have an entirely different type of work. So it really comes down to the person, comes down to the job, the determination. I, in my opinion, think student loans is a great system in terms of helping people who do need the education and don't have the money. I think that is great. I also think it is turned much more from helping people get the education they need, and is now turned more into a business on making money off of debt. Because I remember, and this was when I was younger, I remember people out of high school, and this was when I was in like grade 6 or grade 7, grade 8, I would hear about my cousin who was much older than me, or my older sister, or whoever. Anytime those people ever got accepted to a school or accepted for student loans, that was a big deal. Like, it was like, holy cow, these people look at you and they think you're amazing. Now you have, they've granted you money so that you can take on this occupation. You must be the best of the best. So that was kind of the pusher back then. So you're like, holy cow, this person was able to get a student loan. They got accepted into their school. This is amazing. Like, because it was more of a privilege back then to be able to do that. Nowadays, I mean, just any Joe Blow can pretty much get a student loan for $40,000 if they show interest in getting it, because it's not about, in my opinion, it's not about the student anymore. It's not about the job, getting someone education. It's about the money that a lot of these schools make off of just people's debts. And a lot of this, like even national student loans, like, I mean, sure, I could look at my loan. If I put it on the lowest interest possible, I pay about $170 a month in interest. So that's one thing that's nice for them. They make a lot of interest off of it. They totally treat it now, like I said, like a business instead of a helpful corporation-y kind of thing, like educational assistance. And that's one thing that I don't really support for it. And I've talked to lots of people who manage financing for those places, and they say, yeah, we've basically turned into the new Microsoft model for, if we can get it to, we want to get it to everybody as much as possible so that we can make the most amount of money as possible. So I'm kind of 50-50 on student loans. 50-50 in the sense that if you, like I said, if you do need the education, you do need a certificate to get the job you want, you got to spend the money. That's just the way it goes. But if you're just out there exploring and you don't know what you want to really do, and you're just taking a student loan because, don't do it. Go out there, get that experience yourself first, and then if you require those certificates for the jobs you want, you can work usually with your company to get those later on. But willy-nilly isn't a great way to do things. So based on your experience, it's going to be up to you. So the other part of the question, like I said, that they wanted, and I know I really detoured on that, which is something I'm famous for when I start talking about things, was credit cards. Get a credit card or pay cash. Should I get a credit card? Pay cash. So ultimately, financially, and everyone's going to tell you this, if you have cash to pay for something, better to pay cash than to put it on credit when you don't have the money. Obviously. That's obvious. That's 100%. Now, nowadays, I'd say everybody should have at least a credit card. Even a small credit card. A little $500 whatever credit card, just so you can build a credit rating, that kind of stuff. But if you don't have the money to pay for something that is a toy, I would consider it. If you're buying food and stuff to stay alive, by all means, use your credit card. If you are buying a toy, something you don't necessarily need, but something you want, make sure you have the money in your bank account, pay for it with your credit card, then put that money onto your credit card. So not only do you get the bump off of your credit card, but you've also paid for it so that they can't collect interest and you don't have a pending debt. Well, I think a lot of people use credit cards as just an easy, I have free money, let's use it, I'll pay for it later kind of attitude. And my wife and I both had that exact same problem when we first were together when we were younger. So, to the guy who was asking the question about credit cards, and I mean, by all means, I am not a financial advisor, so don't take my word for it, but based on the experience I've had with credit cards, I would say have one to create a credit rating, but don't spend money you don't have unless you have to or it's essential to, staying alive. That'd be my advice on credit cards. I don't really know how to get any further into credit cards, so if you have more questions, please talk to your financial advisor at your bank or call the 1-800 number. But there's also lots of great people on YouTube that offer financial advice on stuff like that. But I thought it'd be fun. It'd be a fun kind of off-tour subject, considering all the random things we talk about, to go into that one. Where's this piece here? Somewhere there's a leaf. Where is it? I don't know where you are. We'll just... Oh, there we go. Got it. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. And I'm just going to kind of collectively make a ugly little pile here. I have a feeling there might be a train coming. I think this one does this have an invisible piece on it? Yes, it does. There's my stupid invisible piece. Luckily, this is the last tree we got to cut down like this, so that's pretty cool. Wow. Okay. Glitchytrees.com. Oh, we'll turn that off there. So yeah, student loans, 50-50, yes or no, depending on the situation. Credit cards, get a credit card, but only use it if you have the money to put it back on the credit card. There's the train. That would be my advice. And again, please don't take my advice financially, because I'm not an expert. I can carry that piece, I think. But yeah. If you have any other financial questions, please God, don't ask me, because I'm not your guy. But we'll continue on random subjects as we go. Again, if you guys have random subjects, let me know what they are, and we'll try to discuss them. Or at least I'll give you my opinion on them. It might not be right, and it might not be the right opinion, but it'll be mine, that's for sure. So I'm just going to leave this stuff piled right here. We're going to leave the excavator here. We got to head back home, call it a day. And then next episode will be the last load. I'm actually going to leave this trailer locked right here. We will be back. Better turn this guy around. Head back to the old sleeping hole. All right. Oh, we beat the traffic. So far, so good. Like I said, we do have that one. We have one more hill that we got to wipe out, and that'll be pretty much it for this map for a while. And then we get to go check out some very wild concepts on some other maps here, so which we can get excited about when we get there. Let's go up here. So yeah, again, topic of the day is fun for me. If you guys, for whatever reason, do not enjoy topic of the day and would like to do something else, let me know. I do listen to your guys' feedback. You're the people watching this stuff, so I want you guys to be having, the best time possible listening to me ramble on about stuff. If that's what you want to hear, let me know what you want me to ramble on about. Because, I'll just start talking and keep going. All right, we are home. Safety. All right, guys, so we're going to end it on this one. If you guys liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe. And if you're in the bush, don't forget to hug a tree. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.